Video games Recon.
The Remington New Model Army is a pistol based on a real gun made in 1858 and was widely used in the American Civil War. This gun is a powerful little beast and is a one-shot kill for a considerable amount of time. This weapon is very similar to the Python, as in many ways it's practically the same gun, aside from a few major differences. The first and most noticeable of which is the magazine, as the Remington New Model Army holds 12 rounds per cylinder and can reload the whole cylinder in one go, just like the real gun, as opposed to one bullet at a time like the Python or Executioner. There is, however, a downside to this gun, as it seems to be a little bit less accurate than the Python. So this weapon seems to be a trade-off of accuracy for a greatly improved magazine, but in my opinion it's a trade-off well worth it. Once pack-a-punched, this gun becomes the SASSAFRAS, but aside from the name there is little difference than before, apart from the obvious power and ammo increase and perhaps a slightly faster reload time. You won't notice much of a difference, and once upgraded this gun feels exactly the same as the Cobra, the pack-a-punch version of the Python. All that being said, none of this is of any particular importance, as the reason you choose to pack-a-punch these sorts of weapons isn't to look flashy or for the point or abilities, it's so you still have significant stopping power in the later rounds, which most other guns just can't live with, past rounds into the high 20s or low 30s. So for these purposes, the SASSAFRAS is well worth a look. Now onto the Ray Gun Mark II, and as you probably already guessed, this weapon is an upgraded version of the Ray Gun we all know and love. And now we finally have an update for this weapon, which in all honesty has been getting a bit tired since its first inclusion way back when on the first map of World at War. Anywho, let's put that stuff aside and get down to what we all want to know, in that, is it any good? And I'm pleased to say the answer to this is yes. In fact, it's very good, and holds onto its stopping power for an impressive amount of time, probably due to its 3-burst rate of fire like a Recon or M8A1. But very much like the Recon, what the Ray Gun Mark II gives on one hand, it takes away on another. And by that I mean, because it fires 3 rounds at once, ammo can quickly become very scarce. So for those of you that are a bit trigger happy, then this gun could be a bit of a double-edged sword. FYI, this gun is available for all 4 players from the mystery box on all maps, as long as you have the buried map pack. Once pack-a-punched, the Porter's Mark II Ray Gun, just like the Remington New Model Army, doesn't seem to change that much. Aside from a subtle general upgrade, the only significant upgrade is in terms of power, as once pack-a-punched, you won't notice much of a drop-off into the later rounds, unlike its predecessor, the original Porter's X2 Ray Gun, which once you start to creep into rounds in the 30s becomes less and less useful, to a point where it's practically useless, whereas the Mark II doesn't seem to suffer from this to such a degree, and manages to keep its stopping power for a lot longer. That being said, ammo, or lack of it, is still a problem. Nevertheless, it's a great addition to the game, as this weapon is available on all maps, which goes some way to make amends for the lack of wonder weapons and or the ability to pack-a-punch them on the first 2 maps.